Yeah, so I'm Warren Cresswell, Product Development Manager for Business, Health and Personal Skills, formerly a Senior Product Developer leading on the development of retrofit related qualifications, among other subject areas. I'm going to discuss the area of retrofit and detail how emerging occupations driven by the measures, targets, standards and technological advances that we've mentioned earlier can and has driven programme and qualification development, and how this can upskill the workforce and provide a pipeline of qualified individuals, as well as the trainers and tutors needed to deliver quality learning outcomes. All of this contributing to meeting decarbonisation targets. So in the UK, we are facing three big challenges: climate change, leading to the urgent need to reduce carbon emissions to meet government net zero targets, and the rising cost of energy. It's estimated that 20% of the UK greenhouse emissions come from housing, and tackling this means that action is urgently needed to retrofit better insulation and sustainable heating systems into the UK's housing stock as a key part of the solution. New housing accounts for between 1 to 2% of total building stock each year, so addressing the energy efficiency of the UK's existing housing stock is one of the most cost-effective and decisive routes to achieving net zero ambitions. Retrofitting is the act of fitting new systems designed for high energy efficiency and low energy consumption to buildings previously built without them. This can range from small activities such as fitting energy efficient light bulbs to installing state-of-the-art heating systems. The reasons for doing this are simple. A more efficient building will be cheaper to run, have lower impact on the environment, and the higher energy rating that comes with this can also increase the value of the property. There is a broad spectrum of commonly used methods of sustainably retrofitting a domestic property. These include solar panels, smart meters, and sustainable water and heating systems. Maintenance of these systems is just as important a consideration as their energy efficiency. The improvement work offered by retrofitting existing buildings will increase a building's energy efficiency, making the dwelling easier to heat, able to retain heat for longer, and help replace fossil fuels with renewable energy. This results in retrofitted homes being better protected against energy price increases, as they can generate their own energy and require less energy too. As the risks of unintended consequences are high in retrofitting and the rewards so valuable, the government commissioned the Each Home Counts review in 2015 to identify and tackle the high level of failure existing in domestic retrofit, and to determine a better process for the retrofit of energy efficiency and renewable energy measures. The PAS 2035 specification for the energy retrofit of domestic buildings was introduced as a result of this review, with the backing of industry and the Government Department for Business, Energy and Industrial Strategy. This new overarching document, Retrofit Standards, essentially provides a specification for the energy retrofit of domestic buildings and details best practice guidance for domestic retrofit projects. It allows retrofit coordinators to take a holistic approach when implementing sustainable retrofitting techniques. In addition to the type of work carried out, PAS 2035 also ensures that this work is of an acceptable standard. All eco-funded retrofit projects in England need to be delivered through the PAS 2035 framework, meaning that they must be overseen and lodged into the Trustmark data warehouse by a Trustmark approved retrofit coordinator. This, as well as the government's aims to improve the energy efficiency in existing homes, will drive demand for individuals who are qualified coordinators, and it's estimated that we will need in the region of 200,000 people involved in retrofitting by 2030 to help meet government targets, whilst needing to maintain those high standards to protect homeowners. So before embarking on developing qualifications aimed at qualifying individuals to undertake these occupations, we first spoke with many stakeholders, including those who deliver retrofit and those who contract retrofitters. They highlighted the challenges in finding qualified retrofit coordinators for current projects. Some had projects which couldn't commence or had unfilled vacancies, and some were considering paying additionally for coordinators to travel from other regions to ensure that their projects commenced in line with their funding agreements. So NOCN's aim is that our qualifications help to significantly increase the number of skilled, qualified retrofitters to help fulfil this demand. Initially, 5 roles were introduced within the PAS 2035 framework to effectively action specific parts of the retrofit process. As you can see those on screen, the advisor, assessor, coordinator, designer, installer roles, with the coordinator likely to lead in the evaluation of measures. However, the advisor role you see there on the screen has actually been removed recently from the standard, whilst it's looked at how the focus of that role and how that's going to continue in the future. NOCN's primary focus was to develop qualifications for retrofit roles to ensure both the high standards required for these occupations and growth in the pipeline of qualified retrofitters to fulfill that demand. The Retrofit Coordinator role is an individual who manages a retrofit project on a dwelling, and in doing so oversees its assessment, the identification, specification and evaluation of energy measures for installation, and their subsequent monitoring and evaluation. This role is central to projects, and demand for qualified coordinators is understandably high. For any eco-funded PAS 2035 project, whether or not that results in the installation of a measure, the coordinator has overall responsibility for risk assessment and the creation of a medium-term improvement plan. NOCN has always placed a high importance on industry input into the development of its qualifications. Employers and wider industry are integral to identifying the skills gaps and creating the standards to build greater productivity and quality within all occupations. So in designing our initial retrofit coordinator qualification, we wanted to ensure we involved those employers, professional bodies and subject matter experts with a vested interest in raising the quality outputs required. NOCN engaged with many organisations to fully understand the context, challenges, knowledge, skills and required outcomes of the role. This involved reaching out to a large number of leading professional associations, employers, retrofit experts, housing associations and local authority or energy hub representatives with expertise in energy efficiency and retrofit installation measures. We chose to partner with the Insulation Assurance Authority to help write the content, the unit content assessments for this qualification, due to their strong track record in promoting the highest standards and also their expertise being integral to a lot of the measures covered under retrofit. The development process involved working closely with the IAA and other stakeholders to review the needs of the market, identifying stakeholder needs and potential challenges with delivering funded projects. We worked with subject matter experts to design engaging unit content to ensure all knowledge and skills requirements were met. We created necessary practical criteria to expose individual learners to the potential failures, processes and systems to help them gain the necessary skills so they could hit the ground running once qualified. And we're also keen to gain validation that the content and assessment methods would deliver the expected outcomes. The practical focus of this qualification was the most important aspect of the development, as our research had suggested that many retrofit coordinators didn't feel they were fully prepared to practice as a coordinator on completion of their training. We felt it was vital to prevent failures in retrofit projects due to the lack of knowledge, skills or preparedness. With the role of a retrofit coordinator, it's essential that only learners with the requisite knowledge, understanding and practical skills are able to manage domestic retrofit projects. It's imperative that this was reflected in the robust assessment methods used to determine the minimum level of competency. The headline causes of retrofit problems tend to include poor design, unsuitable materials, poor workmanship. Unintended consequences often result from the fact that retrofits are not always well thought through in terms of selecting appropriate solutions and considering how they might interact with one another. It's therefore important when designing qualifications related to this that the delivery of the content and assessment result in qualified individuals are fully prepared for the rigours of the role. In this particular qualification, the assessment was designed with stakeholders responsible for delivering and employing coordinators. So a number of the units have both knowledge and practical criteria, which means the learner must not only know the subject matter, but also be able to demonstrate how to apply that knowledge in a retrofit context. In terms of the assessment, 3 methods were designed to complement each other to deliver the expected learning outcomes. This included a knowledge test, which sits on our test platform. This is to be taken at the end of the course. Professional discussion, which requires knowledge and understanding of practical application. This method can be used with a formative assessment to monitor learner progress and attainment throughout the course. And finally, there's a scenario case study, which was taken at the end of the qualification. This consists of 5 tasks based on a real-life domestic retrofit project, including information, data, measurements, photographs, and document templates. At the heart of good quality qualifications and assessments is validity, assessing the right thing in the right way to provide accurate and useful results. Assessments must be as fair and meet the needs of the employers and other stakeholders, which is why we work closely with organisations to check and challenge the content and assessment throughout the process. For this particular qualification, we also engaged with the Department for Business, Energy and Industrial Strategy and Trustmark, as both of those organisations are key to setting and maintaining building standards and operating requirements. And we'll continue to engage with those organisations for further retrofit developments. So in summary, the only way we will support the acquisition of skills and qualifications for these occupations needed to deliver on the green agendas we've spoken about today is through collaboration between education organisations, employers, sector bodies, local and national government. We need to guarantee that green jobs are good jobs and provide the opportunity for individuals to develop a career in green skills, whilst enabling all to contribute to sustainability through greater awareness. Collaboration will enable us to better understand the future workforce needs and develop the standards on which we base our qualifications and training programmes. The strategies we put in place now will drive green recovery and provide a better chance of reducing greenhouse gas emissions by 2050. Thank you for listening.